So, Tetra, Tomb of the Spider Queen, both teams undefeated so far, thus far, on this battleground. What would you like to see coming in from those? What would you prioritize on a map like Tomb?
Illidan.
Yeah?
It doesn't even matter what map it is, I would prioritize Illidan for one of these teams. It is the go-to hero for them. Rip Ariel. Again, consistent bans.
Yeah, don't hate it. Don't hate it, especially if you're not really keen on playing her yourselves. Which, I don't know. Why would any team not want to play her? Or I should probably specify and say if you don't want to first pick her.
Very true. We're seeing the Genji very much just completely denied all day today.
Does Genji play the banjo?
Hey, well done.
Serious question. I always wonder if some of those heroes do have a hidden musical talent.
Well, he's Japanese. I would assume he's. He's Japanese, not Chinese, right?
Yeah, he's definitely Japanese.
Oh yes, I remember the Overwatch things now. So I would assume it would be something more like a shamisen, more traditional instrument.
Yeah. Whoa! I'm very impressed, Tetra, that you do know your Japanese game.
Only a little. I know some stuff. Mainly because the shamisen's a good instrument from the double source of knowledge of Takeshi's Challenge, as in the video game, not the TV show.
Oh, boy,
which was horrific, and Kubo and the Two Strings.
Yeah.
A bloody good movie.
Funny little side note here. I'm pretty sure you guys have that as well. That there are those stereotypical like cat names and dog names.
Mm-hmm.
For example, in Germany, we usually call cats Muschi. You know, that's like the super stereotypical cat name. And when I first went to Japan,
in English, that means like if you step on an apple, it is now mushy.
Exactly. And when I first went to Japan, and I used to call a friend of mine there, what people normally respond with on the phone, it's mushy mushy. So I was like, oh, what the? What's going on here? Yeah.
Is he there with you? Say hello.
Yeah. There we go.
What is the most go-to dog name?
I would actually say Bello.
Bello.
Because to bark means bellen in German, so Bello is oftentimes.
So you name your dog Barker?
Or
what are you, Pokemon traders? What's going on here?
Barker or Barky, you know?
You've literally done the Pokemon logic of let's name them after the noise they make. God's sake.
Sorry.
I love it.
Us Germans were not known to be very creative. We're just efficient.
To be fair, like in the 80s, the most go-to dog name was Spot. The English-speaking people were much better.
There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I do not know how we strayed off the path so far.
We went from shamisens to dogs. I don't know how we did this. But we see Stitches on the other side this time, the one picking it up. They don't have the Uther follow-up that BTG did because they have stolen it. And Illidan was banned out again.
All right. Well, Anubreg not being in the mix, that's kind of cool, especially if you want to prevent, you know, cheeky turn-ins. Because if you remember the series between SBT and RPG today, the same can be done on Tomb of the Spider Queen, right? Someone wants to pay their gems, or you want to pay your gems, and someone tries to prevent that from happening. You just cocoon that sucker, and you turn in all those gems, and peace out.
Indeed. So I don't know how much of the Open Division you watched. We saw quite a bit. Consistent Asmodan compositions.
Oh yeah, I definitely watched that. The good old school Asmodan with the taste for blood.
And then we saw their opponents. I can't remember which team it was. Do the exact same comp, but just swapped out Asmodan for Gul'dan, and it was infinitely better.
Yeah,
it just worked so much better. They just had wave clear, and it was useful earlier.
Well, Tetra, I can tell you one thing. The legacy of E-Star's Ooze continues.
Yeah, once again, we're going to be seeing Fish, his second Ragnaros of the entire tournament. The entire league coming in. First time he was able to win with it. Let's see if he's able to continue that theme.
Have we ever seen Lava Wave in competitive play as of late?
No. Well, no. In Korea, yes. In like a last phase, and it lost. We have not seen it.
Surprise!
We've never seen Lava Wave in China. It's on my list.
Okay, there we go.
And we're not going to this time.
I don't know. I don't want to cross it out. You mean? I mean, Divine Storm, Lava Wave, the dream?
No. I'm just put my foot down. I don't think it's going to happen. Sonya and Valor to finish up here. Double frontline, double support Valor. This is the most basic of basic drafts you could almost possibly go for.
Absolutely. The one they try to rely on things that, you know, have been proven to work. So, the Sonya, you can't do much wrong. The Stitches, always a force to be reckoned with. Rhaegar, Tassadar, I mean, what is going to go wrong with those two? And once again, the ETC coming back for the 4th or 5th time on this playday alone.
Yeah.
Twice it was played by Wang from RPG. Now it was played twice by BTG. And isn't it funny how a hero that wasn't really changed a whole lot in the last few balance updates is now all of a sudden back in the mix?
ETC, you mean?
Yep.
Yeah, it is different. It is interesting. It's how, it's very interesting how other heroes who aren't even tanks, like not even a lot of the tanks, would change too much. It's interesting how the heroes around them can make a hero better.
True.
Kind of situation. It's like double supports jumped up just due to the fact that supports have been consistently changed and in a couple cases nerfed.
Yeah.
Like here is a situation, like I can't remember who said it on Twitter, but they were like, maybe like people are wondering like why double support is happening, and Blizzard's response was to nerf supports. But if you just buff supports, you'll have stronger supports, and you can actually run them solo.
Yeah, that's a very good point. No, that's a very good point.
It's the same thing with situations like this, where we've been seeing double frontline has been exceptionally efficient, and ETC is good for that because he can peel.
Yeah, and keep in mind that some of the prime counters, I just want to mention Li Ming, for instance, right? The Wave of Force. It's no longer really a factor, the Li Ming that is, and if you have one of the primary counters shut out completely, all of a sudden, heroes like ETC come back stronger than before. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we're going to take a look at game number 2 between BTG and TheOne. Alright, and once more, we're going to take a look at the gentleman in blue coming in from BTG. We have A on the Grey Main, 619 on the ETC, Fish on the Ragnaros, MJ on Uther, and ST on Lunara.
Whereas on the right-hand side, it's going to be TheOne. And playing for them, we have Hugo on Sonya, Lucky on Tassadar, Meng on Stitches, Cyran on Rhaegar, and he is playing the Valar.
That came out of nowhere, but I'm loving it.
So, Sonya has been a fairly consistent pick for Hugo. It's actually been his most commonly picked hero. Before this game, he had a 33% win rate on it.
Yep.
So, out of 3 games. So, he's won 1, lost 2. Let's see if he can make that a even 50.
Exactly, and fortunately for us, no bigger issues appearing this time, so the clock is turning down. Super easy for the observers so far.
What is it turning down for?
I don't know. The wave viewers are just, you know, gearing up, heating up. Where do they actually spawn from? Can you imagine? Like, they always descend from the air, but what's up there?
Well, Sky Temple's up there. We already know this is below Sky Temple.
Huh. Well, what is Fish doing there?
Getting hooked and surviving. He's fine. He was scouting with his body via Stitch's hook.
So, good. If Sky Temple is above Tomb of the Spider Queen, which I totally believe, by the way, I do not, you know, I do not disbelieve you. How long of a net or of a weave they have to have in order to reach all the way down there? That's a long distance, isn't it?
Like, I know they're both in Luxoria. I am not 100% sure it's actually Sky Temple, but remember the well on Sky Temple? When Harrison Jones comes out of it, he comes out with the gem from Tomb of the Spider Queen and is chased by spider legs. So there is the logic that this is below Sky Temple.
Gotcha. Well, so, I mean, it's the Nexus, right? We have a Hyperion getting parried by Varian. So.
And the fact that the Hyperion can fit in the Haunted Mine. Space is a very relative term. Where did the Hyperion even come from? Did it come with him to the Nexus? How did he bring it? Same with Artanis.
Why can't he use it to get out of the Nexus?
Exactly, you see Raider getting in the tutorial, you see Raider getting teleported away from some Zerg. His ship wasn't with him, it was just teleported in separately.
Alright. That was Lore 101 with Kendrick and Tetch. So
more like lore rage. This game of fun and mashing up characters together makes no sense. We're seeing Meg retreating out, not getting caught out of position.
Oh! Vala just took a nice bite off that Lunara. I'm loving it. And once again, we see the Sign Fusion build on Tassadar, which by now I think actually has become the standard. I don't think the Templar's World Auto Attack build is the standard anymore. It's getting picked less and less. And same happened to Force Wall, by the way. Force Wall oftentimes used to be the synergetic ulti to go for the Templar's build, because then you could make sure that players or enemies couldn't really run away from you anymore. But, you know, it's just so much wave clear, and you really need that on Tomb, I feel.
Very true. Meng getting a little bit of poke damage. He's gone for once again a full slam build. You can go for Hungry for more on this map and just get yourself a big old bunch of health. You're against Lunara and Greymane though, who can both take percentage damage, so that can be a little bit less value. Sonya might be in trouble. Good face melt. Sonya does not care because Whirlwind is just able to completely sustain through.
So much self-healing, so much shielding as well coming in from Tassadar, and it becomes increasingly difficult for BTG to really kill the Sonya, because guess what? Greymane and Ragnarus, they have to get pretty close in, and the more heroes are standing in Sonya's vicinity, the more she's going to leech up, so it's oftentimes a problem of having too many melees against the Sonya.
To specify for Sleeping Kisa? I think that's how you pronounce that. Oh, hang on, Hugo. No, it's fine. To specify, the tomb is in Sky Temple. It's in the underground. It's underground in Sky Temple. It's not below the floating Sky Temple. Otherwise, the well would not be able to reach far enough down. That's why they fall. And apparently, below Sky Temple is Haunted Mines, if we believe the Lost Viking trailer. We're building a map of the Nexus here, ladies and gentlemen. All good.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, both teams still fairly even, although one major advantage on the side of TheOne, they already turned in 48 out of 50 gems, and as such, Meng is going to unleash the first wave of Web Weavers, and you have to criticize BTG a little bit for not paying enough attention, because normally it's always a sign of a good team, of a truly good team, to constantly deny turn-ins. I think on Sunday when Dignitas faced Expert on this map, they completely shut down Expert, and in the end they had more than 150 gems, I believe. And
something like that.
That was just crazy.
Well, here comes the gems in spider form. The Web Weaver has arrived. Let's see what value they can get. No minion wave with it, so it's pretty much on its own. Rag popped very early to zone out Sonya here is the idea. Not really to... It pokes the Web Weaver, but it also drops Sonya low, meaning she can't push as aggressively with it.
Exactly.
Meaning that the mid can be cleared without too much interruption, then they can rotate to top, and bot doesn't take too much damage either.
Yeah, ideally you can use the Molten Core in the middle lane for maximum efficiency, because the range is so long that it can basically reach top lane for sure, and parts of the bottom lane as well. But they had 4 people here already, so yeah.
Yeah, there is also the argument that, here is the argument, a lot of people are like, why didn't he use Ragnaroks to tank shots onto the fort? Why would you want to when you have that range? The more damage you take when you're in that Molten Core form, the less value you're going to have from it, because the duration is reduced. There's only one situation where a Molten Core, dropping a Molten Core to tank damage is really usually acceptable, and that's on Black Hearts. If you really desperately need to tank a keep or something to make sure that you don't get catapulted.
Right. In the meantime, though, we see a collapse on Lucky. He was not lucky this time. Tassadar is a hard target to catch, but if you know... Oh, what? Oh, Meng. Unfortunate.
He tried. It was a good angle. He just wasn't able to find anything from it. As Fish will be denied the turn-in by Hugo. I love the fact that these two are in the solo lane together. Yeah. And that is going to be a turn-in by Beyond the Game. Now, what can they make out of this? Right now, TheOne are ahead in XP due to their previous turn-in.
Exactly.
Can BTG gain more value?
That was actually the best timing possible, because now they're not going to have to face TheOne when they're level 10, and they aren't themselves. So they can basically fight on equal footing without really losing too much momentum off their Web Weaver push.
If they get some towers here, then there's a good chance they may hit level 10 first. And that's the idea, because look at their forts. They took minimal damage from the ones where we were turning. This is very much about trying to gain, not even fort damage, just killing the maximum possible amount of towers.
Exactly.
To get them to get level 10 as quick as possible, because the one are getting there very fast.
In the meantime, at the bottom lane, we see a battle between Ragnaros and Sonya. Ragnaros dropped a little bit low, as you can see on the health bars. That's also very important. You cannot afford to lose someone when your webviewers are still pushing, or when you're about to turn level 10, because then, once again, with a numbers disadvantage, you can't really capitalize on your level 10s unless the enemies are extremely out of position.
Lava Wave Dream continues to remain dead. Kel'Thuzad has not yet arrived to revive it. So for a smash mosh pit combo, and Sonya is still never mind, was alive, but then he's a meatball. You see a Gordon.
He's catching them all.
He's got two. Fish, the minions are tanking the four. He gets divine shielded. He was not slowed. And Tassadar forced to retreat in that Archon form. Everyone gets out. Sonya dies, Valor dies, Stitches was able to escape with his life.
They get another Terran Tetcher. They got exactly 55.
Oh my god. You're right, exactly the right amount. What perfect timing. They're even saving the one so that they can grab the Siege Giant camp in the bot lane for even more value beyond the game. Always on top of the map.
Absolutely well played here by Beyond the Game, showing why they chose that name, obviously, for their team, because that was truly next level. Really well played. I mean, at first I was kind of skeptical, using two longer cooldowns, like the Wash Pit and the Sulfur Smash, just to secure the kill on Sonya, but they had all planned this. They used the macro strategy analysis to be like, okay, if we kill that Sonya, we got that next turn in for sure. And you know what? We can then use the bottom Siege Giant camp to get us even more value. So, at first I was like, maybe not worth it. But then after getting the bigger picture of it, totally worth it.
It's really working out in their favor right now. Like you said, super worth. Yugo comes in for an attempted gank, but is not able to find anyone as Beyond the Game reacting too fast. But here's the Gorge immediately onto Lunara's ETC, though, on point to try and save. Oh, she's so low! She finally gets taken out. The Poison Spear, just too much.
Fish going with a big Ragnaros multi-core, though, hitting multiple people, and it was so risky to dive in the backline. He's so low in HP as well, but he gets the kill and the Divine Shield on the Greymane. Make sure that TheOne are falling apart.
They get Hugo as well. They very nearly got Valor, but she was able to escape down to bot lane. And as such, that's only 3 kills, but when you say only 3 kills, that just shows how many kills BTG have been getting in the past, that 3 can be a less than average amount as they take down the top fort.
You know what? That boss is just the icing on the cake. They can totally take this. They have the Greymane, the Ragnaros, that's some outstanding sustained damage. Greymane even going in the Worgen form right there. Lunara joining the fray as well. And TheOne, they're still busy defending their base. You can see only Tassadar is remotely close. And I think they know what's happening. It's just that with a talent down, with all the lanes still being pushed in, there's nothing they could have done. And BTG, they're trying to ride the wave of momentum. Now Tassadar needs to be careful. You don't want to get caught. And they might go for the keep with a 13 talent advantage, don't you think?
They're looking for it. They have basically everything they need. They've got the slowing face melt coming in from ETC. Might be enough for them to move in for this key. Boss is very high in health, had no contestation on the way here. They still got a couple minions, a little bit of extra tankiness. This is a good position for them, even with all their heroics up. Go for the throat just came off cooldown, so they have everything they need, but they're not going to take the risk.
They're not brave enough. They're not brave enough. They're very un-Chinese in that way. Other teams,
guess you'll get Stitches with Gorge in the enemy base.
Oh, no. Don't get me wrong. Like, it was not a wrong call. Don't get me wrong. It was just that normally from Chinese teams you expect full aggression, and especially when they're still a talent ahead and the boss is pushing. But I like this approach. I like this approach from BTG, knowing when to put the aggression on, like you were saying earlier, and knowing when to be patient and play the map instead. Oh, I'm not sure if you want to Gorge ETC.
The best target. There is a Mosh, but Hugo is here. He's not in range to spear, though. He actually went south as opposed to joining with the rest of his team, and as such, ETC was able to escape very easily. Molten calls up again. Molten swing on Hugo and drops some siege damage. They don't really achieve anything from this other than siege damage. They were looking for a kill. Unfortunately, this Molten core will be burned.
They can probably also secure the mercenary camp to push alongside with the rest of the team. So it was not entirely wasted by any means, but it was also not the best multi-core we've ever seen.
Yeah, BTC once again is the one who is hooked. It's very much a double-edged sword hooking ETC. If you kill him, that's mosh pit off the table, which is spectacular. If you hook him and you don't kill him, he's going to mosh pit you or escape, in which case you've burnt the hook, which is a 12-second cooldown.
Now we take a look at BTG. They have unlocked the 16 talents. Meng is trying again and again to hook someone in. He goes for the ETC once more. He's a tanky cow, and he's out for the mosh pit here. Not going for it just yet.
He's able to at least get position.
That's gonna end ugly.
He gets gorged. Yeah, Meg, this could end terribly here. The Divine Shield's used. Doesn't even need the mosh pit. They're already dominating the fight. Tass is trying to use the gate as a micro potential here, but gets blown up. Down goes Valor. And this is a massacre, Kendrick, as the first keep of the game is going to go down.
Keep is going to fall for sure. However, the death timers are not long enough to really allow BTG to deal any more damage. Yeah, they got the rotate down the bottom.
That minion wave. Oh my god, so many spiders.
Yeah. So many spooky spooters.
Yeah, and that's enough. They're going to be able to easily grab this bottom keep as well. 2 keeps down at 12 minutes. And they have just over half the amount of gems needed, with 19 already turned in and 23 in their inventory. They're going to just go over 2/3 of the way.
And now it's basically all in or lights out for the one. Despite the fact that they are 2 levels behind, they need to make a play happen with the Stitches. In my opinion, they need to go for a team fight, even if it doesn't look too good for them. But otherwise, I don't think they can come back anytime soon if they just play the macro, you know? They're not having enough gems. Actually, they do, so I'll take that one back. But I don't think BGG is going to let them pay. There we go.
Yeah. Like you said, BTG are so far beyond the Game of Heroes of the Storm that they're playing with the SI7 agent in Hearthstone. Lights out as they begin to push on to Meng, looking to lock him down. Good cleanse, keeping him a bit safe this time, but Hugo's a little bit isolated, and Tasnar is going in. This is familiar. Lots of AoE damage here. Sulfurous misses, and there wasn't really a chase potential. This is literally just harassing Ragnaros, and that's not something we see very often. Ragnaros' Molten Core. The fact is, they don't even need it for Siege at this point. It's fine to burn it like this because of how far ahead they are.
And they need 4 more gems, if I'm not mistaken, in order to get another wave, and that might be the nail in the coffin here. Fish has 13 gems in his pockets. He's going to try to turn them in. 18. Yep, that's looking good.
That is very good. That is going to be another turn-in. Here come the Web Weavers for BTG. There's only 1 keep remaining, and the fact is, if BTG just push another lane, it's probably dead. Ooh, well, got the wisp.
Worth it. I'm pretty sure Meng already tried to press the gorge button, because if that were a hero, that was the only chance for them to maybe get a kill. Yeah. But
have you ever thought about like how the wisp reports its information to Lunara? Like usually it's like, hey, Valor just passed through the bush I'm in, just letting you know. And in this case, it would just be, hey, I found it. Oh god. Just cuts off completely after getting hit by the hook. 619 looking for a mosh, not able to get it. They're just pressuring the core though, because even if they don't win the game here, they still get top keep. Yeah.
And top keep is definitely what they're looking for. I think once those Web Weavers are, you know, disappearing, or if they get pushed back by the one, another boss might be around the corner as well, and that's going to be another winning condition here. Meng getting locked down. Is he going to get saved this time? No, he falls. 4 versus 5, and that Tetra might have been it.
The Ancestral Healing not in time. Solio, with a last-ditch effort, gets absolutely destroyed. There's the mosh pit, only grabbing 1 hero. Divine Shield keeps him alive as well. There's a blow-up. A is dying. He's alive, though. MJ able to save him with that speeded-up pattern of justice as the catapults slowly end the game. Can Valor get a kill? Can they give him 4 kills? He dropping low. Come on. He gets away.
Fish! Oh, he would have gotten it!
Was so close. But either way, that is GG, and BTG, beyond the game, are able to take the 2-0, and as such, they move into first place, along with CE and SPT.
Yeah, BTG just punched the one out of the Nexus there. A clean and crisp series indeed. And once again, they're cementing their claim of being one of the strongest teams in the league. And you know what, Tetra? They certainly look like one of them to me, because the amount of mechanical prowess, the patience when it was needed, the way they played around the map, the drafts, everything just seemed to make so much sense when you took a look at BTG here, right?
Absolutely. They are playing exceptionally well. They are playing on another level, and I'm so glad that we have a team like this that's showing this kind of aggression. And when we lost that aggression really from CE that we saw in season 1, where with the fact that the older E-Star roster and the new E-Star roster that would sometimes take the risk on that kind of comp has gone out, the SPT is not really doing stuff like Twin Blades Baron anymore due to the fact that they're so far ahead they don't need to test anything like that anymore.
Yeah.
But Beyond the Game might be what we need to are currently forcing their way to be noticed, and they're gonna force these top teams to have to potentially experiment to try and find a way around them. Because right now, if we take SPT how they played today versus how BTG played today, BTG would win.